Just when you thought the Bruno rumours had gone quiet, they're back with a bang. Arsenal are reportedly testing Newcastle's resolve with a fresh approach for the Magpies captain. But are the Gunners genuinely in the race, or is this another club discovering just how impossible it is to prize Bruno away from St James's Park? Let's break down exactly what's being reported, what fact, what speculation, and why Newcastle's message couldn't be any clearer. Hands off Bruno. So as of today, the biggest story is Arsenal's interest in Bruno, but Newcastle's response has been immediate and firm. Arsenal make their move. Multiple reliable, apparently, outlets are reporting that Arsenal have held talks with Bruno's representatives, made a firm verbal offer believed to be under 60 million. Seen that approach rejected immediately by Newcastle. They've been rejected by Newcastle. The message coming out of St James's Park is very clear. Bruno is not for sale. Newcastle have no intention of negotiating. There's been no indication that Bruno himself that he wants to leave. But what about Bruno? Bruno is currently with Brazil at the World Cup, and reports suggest he remains fully focused on international duty. He hasn't asked to leave Newcastle. His representatives are aware of interest, as happens with elite players. But that's very different from the player pushing for a transfer. So why Arsenal? Mikel wants another top-class midfielder, despite already strengthening his squad. Bruno is viewed as one of Europe's elite midfielders and fits Arsenal's style perfectly, which explains their interest. My view, at the moment, I put it as this. Yes, Arsenal are interested, genuine. Talks with Bruno camp, most likely genuine. Verbal approach, genuine. Newcastle willing to sell? No. Bruno pushing to leave? No evidence whatsoever. This feels more like Arsenal testing Newcastle's resolve than a deal that's close. Unless Bruno's stance changes dramatically, Newcastle appear determined to keep their captain. So Arsenal test Newcastle. Bruno bid rejected, but is this just the beginning? So why is Bruno so important to Newcastle United and us fans? It's because he has become more than just the best midfielder. Since arriving in January 22, he has grown into the emotional heartbeat of the club, the captain, and one of the symbols of Newcastle's rise under the current ownership. And here are the biggest reasons why he means so much. He set the standard. Bruno plays with intensity every single week. Whether Newcastle are winning or struggling, he demands the ball, battles for every challenge, and expects those around him to match his level. Supporters love players who wear their heart on their sleeve, and Bruno does exactly that. He's made Newcastle tick. Almost every phase of Newcastle play goes through him. He can win the ball back, dictate the tempo, switch play with long passes, break defensive lines, create chances and score important goals. Very few midfielders combine defensive work with creativity as well as he does. He's Eddie Howe's on-pitch coach. Eddie Howe trusts Bruno to organise the midfield, calm the game when needed, and raise the intensity when Newcastle need momentum. When Bruno plays well, Newcastle usually play well. Bruno, he understands the fans. One reason supporters have connected with him so strongly is that he genuinely embraced the club from day one. He often spoke about loving the city, loving St James's Park, wanting to leave a legacy, giving everything for the shirts. That authenticity has made him a fan favourite. He represents the new Newcastle. When Newcastle signed Bruno from Olympique Lyon, it felt like a statement that the club could attract elite talent again. Since then, he has helped Newcastle qualify for the Champions League, compete for trophies, become respected across Europe, establish themselves among England's leading clubs. He's become one of the faces of the transformation. He's worth far more than a transfer fee. So could Newcastle receive 100 million for Bruno? Possibly. Possible. But replacing him is another matter. The players who offer elite technical quality, leadership, Premier League experience, international pedigree, captaincy, and a deep connection with supporters are incredibly rare. Selling him would mean trying to replace all of those qualities, not just his statistics. He attracts other players. Top players want to join ambitious teams that already have world-class footballers. Having Bruno at Newcastle sends a message that the club intends to compete at the highest level, making recruitment easy. The ITT verdict, my verdict for Newcastle supporters, Bruno is more than a footballer. He's the captain, the leader, the heartbeat of the midfield, and one of the biggest reasons fans believe the club can continue moving forward. And that's why every transfer rumour involving him generates such a strong reaction. It's not simply about losing a talented player. It's about the potential loss of the identity, the leadership that has become central to this Newcastle era. Away the lads. So now we're going to take a look at Bruno's end of season stats and review them. And was this his most important season in a Newcastle shirt? What do you think? Comment down below. So in a campaign packed with pressure, injuries and huge expectations, Bruno stood tall. 41 appearances, 9 goals, 7 assists, and the armband energy Newcastle needed. But beyond the numbers, this was about leadership, control and setting standards. So today we're breaking down Bruno's 25-26 season. The goals, the influence, the grit, and why Newcastle's Brazilian heartbeat remains absolutely central to everything Eddie Howe is building. Bruno delivered another outstanding 25-26 season, midfield heartbeat for Newcastle. Across all competitions, he made 41 appearances, played 3,300 minutes and scored 9 goals, providing 7 assists and earning a strong 7.3 SOFA score average. His Premier League form was especially impressive. 9 goals, 5 assists and a superb 7.45 rating from 29 appearances. Bruno mixed leadership, creativity, bite and control, while his defensive numbers showed discipline too. 0 errors leading to goals and 0 penalties committed. Proper captain, full of quality, responsibility and big moments, Newcastle's standard set. Bruno's Champions League campaign was steady rather than spectacular, and the injury prohibited him from finishing the campaign. But still important for Newcastle. He started 7 matches, played 542 minutes. It's 77 minutes per game, showing Eddie Howe's trust in him on the biggest stage. His overall 6.8 SOFA rating score reflected a solid but slightly restrained European run. His best display came against Benfica, with strong performances against Bilbao and Leverkusen. It's 7 apiece. But his PSV dragged the average down, 6.1 overall. Bruno offered control, leadership and experience, even if his Premier League attacking spark did not quite transfer into the European stage. In the Premier League, as I say, Bruno was outstanding. 29 games, 9 goals, 5 assists and a superb 7.45 SOFA score rating. Proving again why he is Newcastle's midfield heartbeat. From goals to assists to leadership, work rate and defensive bite, Bruno sets a standard when the Toon need him most. Is Bruno Newcastle's most important player? Let me know with your thoughts below. He certainly is in my mind. He's the captain, the leader, the standard setter. And he's going to show that in the World Cup coming up next. So right now on YouTube is the full Newcastle United 2025-26 season review that I've put together on video. If you want to watch them in small chunks, then I've put each month out in the last 12 days. So it's all there to watch. Enjoy. If you like this video, then you'll probably like my recent updates this week. So go take a look. I'm Ken, the Inside The Toon guy. So thanks for watching. There'll be more of these news reports, updates throughout the summer when the news is actually relevant, and also a lot of World Cup stuff following the 8 Toon lads that are playing for their countries. I'm Ken, the Inside The Toon guy. Have a great day.